All right, YouTube. So what's going on is my wife has decided that she wanted to catch somebody's ball hitch in her grill on her Cadillac. So guess what we're doing today? We're replacing the grill in the Cadillac. So to do this, we're going to have to remove the front bumper. And then from there, it's going to be pretty easy, I think. Shouldn't take too long. We will see. Got a brand new grill here from GM. Cost, it was $480 total, but we also got a new emblem to go on it. Or on the back, rather, because the rear emblem it's not looking so great, so I'm also going to do that. See, this is kind of faded out and everything. So we're going to replace that emblem today and fix this grill. So the first thing we're going to do is remove, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these little screws on the cover that goes over the front grill bumper area. All you're going to do is turn those to the left and then pull them up. They come right out. Pretty simple. Once they're all the way threaded out, you just pull them out. Once you've removed those 6 clips, this thing just pulls out. The weather stripping is just kind of tucked into the side there. So if you give it a little bit of a pull, it will come right off. The next thing we've got is a couple of clips holding the bumper up on the top. I'm going to go ahead and grab one of these tools. It makes it a little bit easier. Just pry underneath. Let me bring the camera closer. So to get these guys, you'll see there's a little recess in there. Just kind of stick a flat bladed screwdriver or your tool underneath there, pop it up. Once it's popped up, give it a little pry, it comes right out. So the next thing to get the bumper off is you've got these 2 10mm bolts here. So you're going to take your ever elusive 10mm socket and remove those 2 bolts. So as you can see, once you take those clips off and those 2 bolts, the upper area is loose. There's some screws on the side. Over here we have to get to, some clips, and then some clips along the bottom. And you've got another 10mm bolt right up in here. Okay, so now underneath the car, there are a series of clips you're gonna have to take out to release the bottom side of the bumper. You'll see that where this attaches all the way over here would be 1. There'd be another here, another here, where it catches in. Looks like right here. Basically anywhere you have these little recesses that come down. Now I did not take these off already. I'm assuming they broke. There'd be another one there. There should be another one here. So really, I've only got like 2 clips I've got to take off. So while I'm underneath here, I'm going to see if I can find some more clips to put in when I put the front bumper back on. But in the meantime, I'm just concerned with getting the bumper off. So let's remove the remaining clips and then see if we can get this bumper off. Okay, so once you have the clips taken off the bottom and all the other steps that I showed you previous to this, all you're going to do is grab this side of the bumper here. Just give it a little pull. Maybe a couple little pulls, just kind of wiggling it too, being gentle though. And it's gonna pop out just like that. So now the bumper should lift right off the car. Again, being careful you don't scratch everything up. So I highly recommend that you have something on the ground. Like I've got a sheet, folded up sheet here, laid on my garage floor. I have an epoxy garage floor, so it probably would not have hurt it, but if you're working on pavement or whatever, you definitely want to put something down so you don't scratch the front surface of that bumper. So from here, it's just a matter of removing the grill. You can see we have really good access to everything at this point. It looks like we've got these little clips here, which I think you just push down on them and slide them out. Yep. So just push down and slide out. They come right off. Be careful with these clips because you are going to be reusing them. So if it's not going easily, don't force it. The old grill has these metal brackets to hold the grill onto the frame of the car, the subframe, but they're riveted on. And the new grill does not have them. So that means we're gonna have to drill these rivets out and then re-rivet them to the new grill. So I'm gonna show you how to do that real quick. Luckily, I do have a rivet tool. Okay, so I've moved over to my workbench so I'm not working on the ground, and I have a 7/32 inch drill bit here. I just kind of chose that at random because I know it needs to be larger than the hole in order to release the rivet. I'm gonna try that out, see what we got. And of course the rivet is trying to turn, so I'm gonna have to grab a pair of pliers or something, maybe some vice grips to grab the backside. So I've got the backside of the rivet with some vice grips. And let's continue drilling this out. Yeah, there we go. You see that rivet pop right off? So we can go ahead and move to the next rivet using the same process. Okay, so now we've got the new grill. We're ready to reattach the bracket. I have some 3/16 inch 5mm rivets here, and I've got my rivet tool, so we are ready to put this thing together. Now, if you've never riveted before, it's actually pretty easy to do. You just take your rivet, stick it in the end of the tool, and then you line up your holes of whatever you're going to rivet. Maybe easier said than done sometimes. There we go. I got my holes lined up. Just going to take the end of my rivet, stick it through the two holes, make sure everything's lined up good, hold everything in position, and then just crank my tool down. Give it one crank, slide it back down the rivet, crank it again. This is kind of hard to do one-handed. But basically, you just crank it until it pops, and the rivet is on. Pull out your old, from the first rivet, just pull that out of the tool, and then you're ready to rivet your next rivet. So load your next rivet into your rivet gun, line up the holes again, and start cranking this bad boy down. There we go. You've got your bracket reattached and you're ready to put this thing back on the bumper. You're ready to stick your grill back in your bumper. Go ahead and get all your clips out of the way. Okay, see, I've got mine just laying all around. I'll move those out of the way. You're going to take your bumper, or your grill rather, and you'll see these pins sticking up, these 3 pins. You'll see 3 slots on the side. You just want to line those up with the slots and slide it into place gently because you don't want to break them. This one's not wanting to line up. Okay, there we go. Again, be very gentle because you don't want to break those tabs. That's what's going to hold your grill to your bumper. So we also have tabs along the bottom that come up through the grill. You want to make sure those are lining up. Again, gently, you don't want to break any of those. Okay, once you've got everything lined up, everything should just kind of fall into place. So then, make sure we got a good camera angle still. Then the next thing you want to do is reattach your brackets that came off before. Yeah, so that is the way it went on with this little tab facing inward like that. So then once you've got those 2 little metal brackets back in, you're just going to take your clips, and these pretty much just slide right in. So you can see The flat side is going to be the bottom, the angled side, spring loaded, is going to be the top. And you just stick it right in the hole and push it in until you hear a snap like that. Very simple. From here, you just put the bumper back on the car. So this part is pretty straightforward. You're just going to pick the bumper up. You're going to bring it up to the car carefully. Set it in place. You're going to pay special attention to the sides over here, making sure it's not scratching up your paint. And then also making sure that this little spot right here goes over that little metal bracket there. So once you've got it lined up on the side, just give it a little push like that. It'll snap into place. Go do the other side. Make sure you got everything lined up. Then from here, it's just a matter of putting back in all of your little clips, putting your 10mm bolts back in, your 10mm bolts on the side here, and that's it. That's pretty straightforward, but that's how you would go ahead and change the grill out on your Cadillac CTS. This is a 2013, by the way, 2013 CTS. So now we've got a brand new grill, not all smashed up, looking good. So on the bottom side, you can see that this part is actually over the bumper lip. You don't want that. You want it to go under. So if it's like that, just go ahead and move it underneath before you go ahead and bolt everything down for your bumper. Sorry for the crappy camera angle there, people. There we go. So this bumper lip should be over top of everything else so that you can put your clips back in. So now that we have the bottom side all lined up, we can go ahead and reattach the screws on the side, your little 10mm screws. I'm gonna go ahead and pop those in my socket, put it on my extension, and then go ahead and just get it started by hand. Might be a little awkward. You may have to turn the front wheel a little. You may have to do some shimmying around with your bumper there to get it in also. It looks like I've managed to get it without turning the wheel. So once you have it hand tight, come back with your wrench, tighten it up. Just want to get that snug. And pop this little lip underneath the side of the bumper, and then put your two clips back in. Just a little tip here, I like to have this little edge sticking outward. That way I can stick my tool in there easily when I'm putting these back together. See what I mean is a little groove on the side there where you can stick your tool in. I like to have that face, just my preference. And that's the wrong clip. It's the larger one. That was one of the ones that go underneath. For some reason, when I pressed record, it didn't record, but make sure you get your two 10mm bolts back in here. Make sure you get your two clips back on each side over here. So the final step then is to go ahead and replace this cover that goes between the grill and the subframe there. This is pretty straightforward. You're just gonna line up your holes for your little hood clip. And then you're gonna come along the side here where your trim is, your weather strip, and just make sure it clips back onto the body of the car right here, all the way up. Same thing on this side. Make sure it's clipping back onto the body, right onto your fender here. Then just go ahead and replace your little clips. So those you're gonna put in place and then just thread down to the right. And I was actually missing a couple of clips, so I found those on Amazon. I'll put a screenshot of the Amazon listing in the video. Those actually fit a little bit tighter, but I don't think that's a bad thing. So there we have it, brand new grill on the Cadillac. It's looking good. So I hope this video helps you out changing your grill for your Cadillac CTS. Guys, thank you very much for watching. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, check out my other videos as well. Thank you very much, YouTube.